Stop everything you're doing, my dear child, and lean. This isn't always just any other word either. This is the hour I've been looking forward to since the start of your war. I've seen how fast you walk. I saw you think too much, double-checking signs and wondering if the promise got lost in the mail or if you forgot about it in some other way. Now, though, I need you to pay attention. You're on time. I never took my eyes off of you for a second. I wasn't missing anymore. I was waiting for the world to line up just right so that your religion would support what I'm about to do for you. It wasn't justice for every bad thing that happened, every delay, every lie, and every loss. It turned into a lesson. You were getting pulled up in the fireplace while I locked the degree on your screen. For the next part I'm about to open, you don't have to be the version of yourself that was sure by worry or frozen by uncertainty. That's why I opened the door earlier. What I'm letting go of now will demand full acceptance as real, strong obedience, and unwavering awareness. You haven't been getting certain benefits from heaven, not because you weren't good enough, but because you were still learning how to protect what's holy. Now, I can see the change in you. I can hear your spirit moaning through the silence of your tears. The urge for more is strong, not out of selfish desire, but because they are hungry to be used by me, to change people's lives, to walk with purpose, and to be fully engulfed in the fire of spiritual calling. I'm about to trade everything, because you can now handle what other people would have messed up. You're ready to take care of what generations have hoped for, and turn it into a way of life. Not any longer about small changes. I'm no longer here to change your comfort zone. I am bringing change so that it is clear, uncontrolled, and can't be undone. This might not be an easy change. It is most likely going to be a holy disruption. Everything that tried to bury you is moved around by this type of shift. The things I'm about to say will make you question the lies you kept telling yourself about yourself. I'm stepping in to put pressure on you. It's no longer because I'm mad at you. It's because I love you too much to let you live one more minute of this half-lived life. There might not be a bigger turnoff. There's no need to wait for another warning. Don't worry about whether you're ready any longer. I'm right here. I'm full of energy, and I'm letting the promises that you almost gave up on come true. This is a break from God. Your schedule can be pushed back by my need to get things done quickly. Destiny is getting into your habit. Though it's scarred and worn out, your heart is now the vessel through which I can pour out a new beginning. So don't fight the pull that comes out of nowhere. Don't run away just because something feels strange. This is not an unstable state. It is divine movement, and you are at the center of it. After sending out a shift, series, or chain, it can't be stopped once it starts to happen. What you thought would happen years from now is about to make you happy head to head. Time is being squished. I'm moving the line around. I'm following your road. You don't need to get any more ready. I am your guide. I am your power. I am your reality. I can't be stopped by guy, machine, or an enemy, because I'm the one doing it. Now I want you to live aware, because the deal you've been begging for is no longer coming. Live in the part. It has already started. And the next thing I'm about to tell you will make even your greatest doubts dash. Because something that looked like it was still on the ground wasn't really still when I looked at it. Everything you thought was going wrong in your life turned out to be a carefully planned break in the cover. You thought the breaks were punishments, when I was actually setting up a beat that you couldn't hear and a tune that only heaven could understand. Your cries were heard by me. I was getting things ready for you to arrive. Not just the places you're going, but also the people who live there. The hearts that needed to be changed. The situations that needed to be softened. and the doors that needed to be strengthened so that I could pour into them through you. To you, it looked like a ready room, but I was making a runway. It seemed like you were forgotten. I used to keep you safe from things that would have killed your potential if they had been released early. Understand this. When you speed up without aligning, destruction happens. I also wouldn't push you into something that wasn't strong enough to hold the weight of your calling. I saw that the war you didn't even know about was going around the gates of opportunity. So I shut it down in secret. I went into places you weren't even aware of and have been giving you feedback on your call, and that I reversed decisions that would have hurt your future. While you were fidgeting, I was working nonstop, turning stones over, shifting evil plans, and planting food where there was the most effective hunger before. Now I held back not to hurt you, but to build a strong base under you. Since the thing I'm giving you now isn't short in length, it goes back generations. It was up to me to match your heart, your beliefs, your stance, your judgment, your obstacles, your determination, your belief, and your patience. You didn't see anything happen, but I was putting timelines together like puzzle pieces for all time. I set up meetings for you that you thought were just random events. Still, everyone turned into a planned thread that I sewed together while you slept. You're worried about the calendar, but I planned a clash with a cause that is more important than meeting goals. Do not think it is chance when you see the whole thing start to unwind quickly. Do not call it success. Just call it miles. Your soul was covered up like by no means before as my hand freed what I hid until the coordinates of heaven were clear. And here is the game's name, which you didn't know. I was also giving you time to get over something you never felt. It wasn't empty during the times of quiet. They were holy places for you to break and rebuild while I watched over you. I let you mourn the old season because the next one will require you to grow up in a whole new way. You are about to walk into talks you didn't try to start, open doors you never knocked on, and receive gifts you didn't earn, but are now officially entitled to because you trusted me in the void. That acceptance is true, that stubborn unwillingness to give up, even when the sky seemed to be quiet, is what set off the speeding up I am now ordering in your lives. I'm not moving you faster. You are being sent ahead on the wings of accuracy. So don't be shocked if the pace picks up. Friendship might not happen to you. You'll be free. Everything you thought you forgot about is now coming to see you. Not because you fought harder, but because you finally got in sync with my beat. It doesn't always slow down this pace. Good relationships are coming your way for the new season. I'm going to show you techniques that are different from anything you've seen before. I'm replacing confusion with clarity that is so strong that even your enemies won't be able to say anything bad about you. What they made fun of as delay, I'm going to show as design. No longer were the long nights a waste. They were sewn into the fabric I'm showing you now. You still had time. It's getting fuller because you're going for walks. Keep your eyes open, because the signs of movement won't be vague. My time is not getting close now. It has begun. And from now on, I'm freeing acts that will have an effect on everything that has to do with you. Since what you thought was rejection turned out to be a turn in the direction of a road that was made just for you. I never turned you away. I changed the path you were on so you wouldn't accept something that didn't fit with your reason. That which was locked up wasn't a barrier. In secret, they were gifts. If I had opened every door you knocked on, you would have found places that were not designed to help you follow your calling. I saw more than what you could see. You were chasing opportunities that looked great on the outside, but were really traps meant to drain your soul. I stopped your entry so that I could no longer hurt you. Instead, I did this to keep you from getting false wins that could have cost you everything. I am behind schedule. Your idea became correct because I am turning in what is divine. I held back not because you weren't worth it, but because I was getting you ready for something that would require you to give up something important to you. You saw it as a lack of movement, but I was actually making you more stable. I let brief sadness happen, so I should make a long-term meeting that you won't want to miss. You could now go into the places you weren't allowed to before without having to pay extra. They were my way of keeping you from getting fake caps. Not every open way leads to a goal. Each yes doesn't come from me anymore. So I had to teach you how to parent quietly, how to stay when you wanted to run away, and how to focus when the silence was too much to bear. In the quiet, I trained your heart. I helped your discernment grow in the ready. I helped you keep your faith when others gave up, simply because the job I'm giving you requires more than talent or skill at this time. It needs a soul that won't be swayed by praise from the floor. Since I shut the doors, I should now open the eyes. Yours first, then the eyes of those who will see what I'm about to do through you. You didn't fail. You got bigger. You didn't stop moving. You got deeper. The places that said no to you didn't rule you out. Their word was that your fate wasn't meant to be there. I'm the only one who supports it. I'm the only one who grows. And that I don't need approval from people to do things that I have already promised to do in heaven. The personal advice you kept going back to will now be your platform. It was hard for you to see, but I was strengthening the very things that were easy to manipulate. I gave you time to trust me again, so that when this round the corner swings wide open, you won't come in wanting their approval. You will walk in with my authority. That way, when the next chance comes up, you won't question whether it's real. It will be easy to spot because it has peace in it. You'll understand it because it might not require performance or giving in. It will feel like alignment, and you won't have to work at it. You shouldn't go after something that I've already reserved for you. And even though it opens, it might not just bless you. It will make every dry part of your story come alive again. Because this door won't be open in a second. It's movement that's close. The point is to keep going even when people applaud. They won't want to compete or judge, so it's only a rough guess. I'm bringing back everything you thought you missed. I'm letting you in for the reason you forgot you prayed for. And I'm doing it in a way that no one else can claim. They'll see it. They are going to watch it. Because I close each false door. They might not be able to say they gave it. This way, you can always trust the foundation of the door I am opening now. I can fill it with want. I'll fill it with confirmations. I'm able to keep it from getting dirty. This door, not your old lack of confidence, will shape your new self. And once you get through it, everything that was trying to hold you back will lose its power. Because I was interested in everything you kept doing. This time, it's not the quiet breakdowns behind closed doors. Not the hurting questions that you hide behind a brave front. Not the sleepless nights when your heart was beating so fast. It was louder than words should ever be. I heard every cry that you were too scared to let out. The ones you ate so other people wouldn't be scared. The ones that stayed in your chest, even when the arena got quiet. By no means have I been far away. Even though you told yourself I had to be. I saw exactly when you were about to let someone move. Not just of hope, but also of yourself. You thought no one saw how hard life has become. But I watched you choose to push yourself up again, one step at a time. Still, even if you felt whole inside, I'm not going to answer now because you prayed louder. It made me answer now, because your persistence moved heaven and earth. You didn't do anything. You kept going. You didn't ask for it. You kept going. That quiet toughness turned out to be the sign that let me step in. You didn't even have to try to earn my love. But you showed that you didn't change your mind, even when my answers seemed slow. I am now going in with strength, not with a light foot or slowly, because the sadness you've been through in secret has made me feel a holy urgency. You had been praying with your tears, but you didn't know it. Each drop had that meaning. Every sigh was a cry for help. Every breath you took, when it was too much to bear, turned into a statement of faith. Also, I've been gathering the holy parts, not to store them, but to use them as fuel to heal you. I'm about to bring back in full the things you thought you lost because of your pain. But I won't just fix what made you hurt. I'm going to lift you up. I can turn the pain that almost shut you up into a way for other people to find hope. You cried by yourself, but you will stand up in public. You bowed under the stress, but you didn't break. So, I'm freeing a forgiveness that is so complete that even your past will stand still and bow to your future. I can't just wipe away your sadness. I'll use them to water a crop. The whole thing that dried out during your storm will grow again, but this time it won't be afraid of being taken. You already had what I'm giving you back, but now I'm giving you what I always meant. This isn't always recovery from the past. That is a reveal of what is in advance. And what is coming is mixed with the kindness you had been denied, the comfort you couldn't find, and the clarity you desperately wanted. I'm putting my hand upon your chest and ordering peace to each battle, nevertheless ringing in your memory. I'm not just dealing with your events. I'm healing your soul. You thought I did not see you, however, baby. I was closest while you were the most hidden. I held you while you didn't recognize a way to keep yourself collectively. I fought for you whilst you had no greater ability to pray. And now I am sending scene options. I'm sending simple shifts. I'm sending a series of breakthroughs so that it will quiet every lie you ever believed about being forgotten. Your call has been spoken in places you haven't even stepped into yet. You were in no way ignored. You had been being kept. And now that the tears have served their reason, now that the dirt of your life has been damaged, I'm planting wonders. Now not one, not some, but a flood. You might not have room to include what I'm about to release. Put together your coronary heart, due to the fact the atmosphere around you is being changed. The people, the moments, the timing, it's all merging now. I'm moving fast. I am reacting to your idea that it had been forgotten. And I'm doing it in one of these ways that you may by no means use to explain your journey. Your joy will talk for itself. Due to the fact that it was lengthy, before you sensed something moving, an order turned into a launch inside the unknown realm together with your call marked in bold, plain authority. I didn't wait for people to accept you. I acted according to my will and freed heavenly movement on the way to now appear in physical methods. But the approved spirit can't be stopped in the plant. My angels are already launched. Assignments have already been initiated. The wheels have grown to become. And even though your eyes haven't caught up to it yet, the shift is already circling round your existence. You're no longer at the barrier. You're inside the process. Pay interest, due to the fact you're going to notice trends breaking without effort. You'll start to watch human beings reappearing or leaving without care. Plans you did not make will connect in such perfect balance that it's going to feel strange. This is now not a twist of fate, it is proof. What has been stuck is being moved. What changed into stagnant is ready to surge. You're going to experience things at its speed, no longer by using pressure, but via divine breath. You've been asking me to move, and I have now not best heard you have already begun. That's right. You won't have to beg to get in after I open the backroom doors. You will now use the pushback that used to stand in your way as proof that something else is getting close. When I say movement into a lifestyle, I mean everything. Not even the smallest detail is left out. The goods you see will come from strange places. You'll see problems that seemed like they would never go away disappear. Relationships that can suddenly lose their hold on you when you're tired of them. Even the way you think is changing to get you ready for how fast things are going to change. This is not a future event. It's a miracle. Look at me again, baby. Check out what you left off of asking. It's over. Check out the places where you stopped praying because you realized it was too late. Every area that felt loved has already been affected by the movement I ordered. Now is your chance to agree with what heaven has already started. That is, no longer with fear or trying, but with hope. I'm bringing in events that are meant to happen at the same time so quickly. It will seem like time is stopping to give you what you want. Take it easy if old barriers seem to go away all at once. I'm not in talks with the people who fought you. They are being turned over. I'm not making a deal with delay anymore. I am setting it down. This has nothing to do with trying harder. It has to do with seeing what happens when I take over the timeline. I'm getting rid of the leftovers from every argument that went on for too long. Instead of going back to what it was, I'm putting the clock forward to what it should have been all along. You might not need to look for signs. They'll begin to chase you. You'll listen in on talks that give you answers to prayers you haven't told anyone else. You'll know that answers are being given before you can even say what's wrong. The way divine movement really works is like this. It takes over what human common sense can't see. And this doesn't really solve the problems you're having. This is about bringing out the care that has been hidden under years of war. Things are changing for me now, but not just events. What used to ask for your energy will now give it back to you in power. The ground is being worked on under you. The air around you is moving around. Things are being moved around to make room for the promise. It's not coming up. It's already here. You're not ready to move yet. Motion is ready for your name. Let the message know that it's already happening. It's okay to walk through the open doors. I'm doing something so quickly and happily that you won't be able to blame it on my hand. When you start to be on the cutting edge of what I've started, your looks come back and you understand that nothing was lost. No step, no tear, and no more putting things off. Everything was setting the stage for this very moment, when what was once only a dream becomes the new truth. For the reason that I do my best work in places where other people remember it being done. When everyone else says it's over, I walk into the scene and say, I'm just getting started. You looked at the pieces of what had fallen apart and thought that nothing could be built on top of them. But I work on things that no one else thinks are important. I'm building a garden of glory out of the ruins of your failures. As other people left, wondering if your adventure was over, I stayed with you and began drawing the structure of your salvation. That's exactly where I saw potential, where you saw pain. You thought the broken pieces of your life couldn't be used, but I see them as holy pieces. What got broken wasn't thrown away, it turned into saved. I'm not getting rid of your past, I'm saving it. Exactly the places where shame tried to take hold are the ones I'm turning into witnesses. I am painting on your crumble. Where you felt like you had reached your limit is where I let my limitless power out. Do you understand that most of my best moves begin with what other people call a smash? Think about how many times I've taken a place that was empty, dry, or even dead and turned it into a place where there was movement, rain, and life again. At any given moment, you are in this state. You thought about it and turned it into a decision. But it's my website about building things. Everything that fell apart, dreams, relationships, self-belief, and the truth, didn't disqualify you. It showed you the exact pose I was looking for. Give up, be humble, and be open. The next part of your life will not be built on lies or illusions. It's only going to be hooked up to me. So it's possible that nothing can shake it. Because you had to reach the end of yourself. You could not limit your view to what you already knew. You had to grow out of the old and get rid of the small things, so I could fill you with a cause that will last forever. I'm building a new structure in your spirit that can't be copied or taken. That's it. Every time you think of it, I'm executed. I used to be pronouncing that, which is where I start. Each useless piece you reach became clearly a divine course. And now I am positioning you to rebuild, not just a life, but a legacy. What I'm constructing within you will have ultimate seasons, storms, and struggles. I'm getting rid of the particles of old narratives and lies, as you consider them, and scars that attempted to form your identification. Your tale isn't over. It's being rewritten with energy. The chapter that almost ended you becomes the chapter that promises others. You'll communicate from a place of knowing, not guessing. You'll minister from survival turned energy. I'm providing you with new language on your journey, no longer certain via phrases like almost or no longer enough. Anymore, your mouth will launch declarations rooted in authority. You may no longer decrease in rooms where you used to doubt in case you belong. The oil I have located for your life was pressed from the very crushing you despised. And now, the anointing flowing from your brokenness will bring healing where others believe the most effective depression treatment should exist. You may rise not in bitterness but in brilliance. The equal situations that tried to bury you are now attesting to your elevation. And this elevation isn't a reward for persistence. It is the inevitable result of staying connected to me, while the whole lot scream to surrender. I will make your ending a beautiful starting, so beautiful that those who counted you out will wonder at the transformation. Do not wait for the whole lot to make sense. Just keep stepping with boldness. I am with you in this rebuild, and I am not patching up your antique existence. I'm setting up something entirely new. You're now not revisiting former blueprints. I am unveiling divine architecture that was hidden until now. Your eyes are approximately looking at what your faith refused to stop believing in. Hold, strolling infant, because the inspiration has been laid. And now the framing begins. And as it rises, so will you. Due to the fact that the weight you've been wearing beneath the floor, the unspoken sorrow, the invisible pressure, and the hidden pain that lingers when nobody's looking are being shaken through my divine authority. This isn't always just a season of encouragement. That is a supernatural disruption of the very roots that tried to hold you buried. The pain you tailored to, the struggle you normalized, and the depression you wore like armor. I'm breaking its proper maintenance now. I didn't come to actually comfort you in your suffering. I came to confront it. You have endured long enough below the floor of survival. You have discovered how to smile while sporting wounds. But I in no way created you to live in cycles of putting off, suppression, or inner battle. That sorrow attempted to settle itself internally in your identification. But I am affirming a holy quake underneath everything that advised you. This is simply how lifestyles can be. You are not forced to struggle or be sad. What was meant to hold you down is now the place where I can anchor change. This hour wasn't chosen by clocks or calendars, but by covenant. I chose this time because the soil of your soul is ready. You are not the same person you were when the pain first came in. It can't hold power over someone who has been softly burned. And now I'm removing the effect of what was trying to stay. You made room for me in the stress, the fatigue, and the confusion. Because of that, I'm declaring war on the sadness that went on for too long. I'm grabbing every tear that has soaked the pillow, every sigh you tried to hide in conversation, and every second you swallowed grief. because no one could understand it. I'm grabbing it all and shaking it loose. You won't be tied to events that happen behind closed doors. No longer will words that hurt more than they needed to be haunt you. I'm shaking the ground below your trauma, below your isolation, and below the emotional scars that tried to set in as normal. This isn't just recovery. It's excavation. I'm digging deep and getting rid of what wasn't planted by me. I'm confronting every lie that was whispered when you were most vulnerable. I'm exposing every root that was formed in moments of betrayal. And I'm not doing it to break you. I'm doing it to free you from everything that made you stay small, quiet, or hidden. This isn't just a mild breeze of comfort. It's, in miles, a divine earthquake of freedom. You'll feel it in the way your minds exchange without force. You'll feel it when your power returns without explanation. You may notice it in the way you breathe easier, speak braver, and walk lighter. This change isn't happening around you. It's happening inside of you. I'm not asking you to follow your way into success. I'm asking you to get it. The way you feel isn't always trouble. It's me moving things around under the floor. Allow the pain to happen. It means that the old weight is coming apart. Let the strange upward push happen. It means you're moving on to a different floor. You're not weak just because you really feel it. The fact that you let me in hurts, but it shows how strong you are. Now, every place where pain tried to make a lasting home is turning into a place of motivation. I'm giving you more energy. I am not using force now. Instead, I am using understanding. Your spirit will become aware of what I am building under the floor, so you will know what to say, where to step, and how to react. The floor is no longer cursed. It has been blessed. The pain is no longer clear. It is breaking down. Now, the styles don't repeat. They are being written over. Keep your mind on one thing. The ground beneath your old fights is no longer holding you hostage. I'm taking you off of it. You are going to be doing something I make myself. And now every shaking in your heart is responding to my touch. Because this moment doesn't just happen. It's like rising in motion. And the force that is about to rise up inside you will be stronger than every tear you've ever shed. Because I was surrounding you with method at the same time. That way of silence was surrounding you. What at first glance looked like a hobby turned out to be a cover for what heaven was planning behind the scenes. My silence stopped being quiet. It starts to line up. You thought that nothing was going on. But I used to tell things to happen in places you couldn't see. While you asked, "Where are you, Lord?" I was talking to the winds, asking God to help, and putting together everything that couldn't be seen that you might need for the next part of your plan. Everyone in heaven might have wanted to hear me, but you couldn't. I was calling for help, sending fighter angels to stand on either side of your path, sending messages to bring you options, and placing guardians to stand as shields over your future. This was no longer a turnoff. The procedure turned into a surgery. You've never been by yourself. You could easily hear the silence because I was too focused on making plans that couldn't be hacked. Now the quiet you kept up is about to break wide open with findings that are too specific to be a freak accident. I had to work in the shadows to keep the enemy from getting the information. The practice season was hidden to keep what I was building in you pure. To be honest, you had no idea how many angels were visiting you. But I was responsible for their flight. I was opening doors to heaven and putting answers into action. When I was writing this, I had holy orders signed and sealed to change the atmosphere for you. Heaven grew louder every second, even though you couldn't hear it. I've been planning this moment since the first time you said, "Lord, I still believe you." That line set off troops. Your surrender made them come closer. Your religion made me want to do something. I replied by calling forth something that no human hand should give you. We fought the battles you were unaware of. Angels dispatched those tasks using my voice. They were keeping an eye on things while you slept. They were clearing the fog when you were having doubts. They were keeping the road clear when you were worn out. Things that should have killed you didn't kill you. I placed guards in locations that were hidden from your view. I put a magical shield around you, not because you were strong, but because of the power you had. I found it overwhelming to explain each delay. I had to make sure that what was coming next was true. Now that next is here. The spiritual world has already changed to make room for what you're about to walk into. I opened the gates. I have developed a deep connection with individuals who typically isolate themselves from others. I came up with ways to do things that didn't exist before. The angels I collected are now on a trip, and each of them is carrying a piece of your success. You will notice that things are given to you that you did not do. You will hear yes where you have heard no before. You might discover people who want to help you out with their knowledge about why. This is because the action in heaven is beginning to affect the land around you. What can't be seen is becoming obvious. Secretly planned events are now coming to light in waves. These waves will keep coming back to the lower back, like a healing beat that won't stop. You didn't miss your chance. It's just getting wider now. You didn't lose your chance. It was easy to wait for the angelic guard I set up for you. Such behavior is not always just random praise for a friend. You stayed when I thought I would be quiet. You waited even though everyone told you to give up. Now when I answer, I'm not just saying things, I'm doing things. Observe what transpires when spiritual assistance intersects with reality. Things will move even if you don't touch them. Without you there, conversations will change to fit your needs. It's the power of having divine help. In the silence, you may not have noticed what I was gathering, but now you are about to experience the evidence of every divine mission I planned, as the current plans place you at their center. Now, you are not just a figure who changed history or a shadow in someone else's story. Instead, you are the one I have positioned nearby to carry the next wave of impact. Others may not have noticed you, may have brushed past you, or they may not have heard your words. But I never stopped recognizing the potential I invested in you. What they didn't notice, I grew. I was ready for something heavy when they said something was normal. I didn't add you to my story as an addition. You have been chosen to be a rock in the middle of my divine release. You are no longer on the outside. You have been kept safe. What you believed would be excluded actually became a divine placement. I put you in a place where distractions and pride couldn't hurt you, and where other people's noise wouldn't stand in the way of the clarity I was creating in your heart. It wasn't shame that kept you hidden, it was reverence. Every morning, you wondered why everything had been so quiet. Why not? It looked like nothing broke open. It felt as though your life was saved as time passed. I previously worked to distinguish you from the crowd and provided you with more challenging assignments. I don't plan for lives to center around a blow. I create calm and reason and let them talk when the time is right. The moment has now come. I'm shining the light on you not to boost your ego, but to bring out what I've been keeping quiet behind closed doors. This season, your job is not a small one. It's important. What I'm building next has to go around your respect. Every seed I placed in your life is now ready to break through the top. Denial wasn't what caused the delay, it was passion. I got to know you better than most people would let me. Therefore, the impact of your decision to give up may be significant. There are more parts to this plan than just this one. You are crucial to it. Your yes will have an effect that goes farther than you thought now. Doors will open not just for you, but through you. On your way, You'll quickly start conversations that you used to only dream of having. Invitations will come from places you don't know, and your call will connect through locations you were previously unaware of. And while it's happening, it will feel right. Now, the process will feel neither rushed nor forced, but rather perfectly matched. Here's why I've kept you out of the spotlight. My job up until now was to keep your rival's energy alive. I was taking care of the oil that was made during your personal struggles. The effect you have isn't always based on your image. It's strong because it's pure. It was clear that you were determined even though no one clapped. I've heard your prayers from quiet places and kept every single one of them. You didn't stop moving. You got more power. Today I'm drawing attention to what I have seen in you for a long time. You will no longer have to say who you are. I'm going to tell you what I've found. Because of how valuable what I've given you is, the world around you is changing. As other people rushed ahead, the area you are entering became private at the same time. This time, nothing will obstruct your path. No one can take the space I made between your toes. I didn't forget about what you did. I didn't forget about your honesty. I didn't answer your call right away, because I was waiting for the right time and opportunity to learn. Now that I've initiated this change, you won't constantly struggle to gain attention. You are in a favorable position to receive attention. I didn't remember you well, but I'm putting your words first to attract others. Prepare to embark on journeys that previously seemed unattainable. Watch how the world changes around you to shape the new power you give off. I still think the same way about you. Who among us has been most thrilled about the opportunity to unleash something that has remained sealed until now? And now that it's here, let this truth settle in your heart. We haven't forgotten about you. You are the most important part of this divine showing. And the things I'm setting in motion through you will shake the places that tried to shut you up. The interruptions you experienced were not coincidental. It turned into interest in how big of a deal you make. You were not being attacked because you were weak. Instead, you were threatening darkness because of something inside you. Staying power easily gathers places where the future is already happening. Every time, the strain got worse faster. It wasn't a sign that you were doing something wrong. It turned into a sign that you were meant to be there for a holy reason. I'm taking you to places that require a higher level of resilience, and that resilience is best built through hardship. A religious fight wasn't a punishment. Become a guide. People who you thought would guide you let you down, misunderstood you, and were quiet for long periods of time. Since everything was approved, I should tell you what wasn't possible through consultation. I've been training you to do your job without getting off track. While other people saw chaos, I saw opportunity. You were growing even though it looked like everything was falling apart. That feeling of heaviness wasn't a sign that you were failing. It was a sign of someone who would have an impact in the future. There were times when you felt like you shouldn't have trusted your ID. But right now you're still online, still open, and still listening. That's already a win. You can show your growth without a platform. The stress you were able to handle is proof enough. You were tempted to quit, but you persevered, which made you stronger. That strength didn't come from being able to control yourself. Something deep inside me made me feel, when nothing else did. I let the stress show you what you had to give up. You had to let go of worry, false attachments, and expectations from the past. It hurts you, but it also makes you more sensitive. You learn to figure out why things happen, set limits, and hear my voice over the other noise. It's clear that the trials that made you feel buried afterward were actually sewing something deeper together. Now the intensity is making people brave. You are now too smart to be tricked, and too stable to be shaken. You're not trying to get approval from people who got it wrong the first time. That's the picture of you I've been making all along. You are no longer bitter, but brave. You are no longer tough, but holy. Now that the shift has started, don't be upset about the way you got here. That typhoon gave you the ability to see beyond what you see. People who ignored you didn't see what I did. I chose you now because of your weakness, not in spite of it. The enemy thought that the stress would make you unable to speak. In fact, it made it sharper. He believed that being alone could make you fall apart. On the other hand, it has become the place where new revelations are born. He didn't think you could keep going, because he didn't know that you were being held up by kindness that never runs out. You were not on time. There was more going on with you. You were not losing. Instead, you were getting stronger. From now on, when I start talking about what used to be unavailable, you'll understand why the fight was so fierce. Your appearance during the next season will cause trouble for darkness. You will walk into places and change the mood without meaning to. Your words will have more weight because they come from hurts I've fixed, not from ideas you've read. You can lead with kindness, but be clear when you speak. You can love without losing yourself and perform powerfully because your heart is based on giving up, not desire. This is why the enemy fought you so hard. They didn't fight you for who you were, but for what you were becoming. However, the time has already passed. You've come out of the fire, and there's proof all around you. The very thing that tried to get you kicked out is now the stage where I can show off my glory through you. Don't write anything else. Do not ask anymore. I am fulfilling the promise I made to you. You proved your reliability under pressure, so now I'm freeing myself, ideally without any pushback. Take a brave step into it. Don't say sorry for the fights that made you who you are before you walk into the rooms I open. Let your scars tell you something. Let your growth shine, and please don't question the power I've given you. Because the shaking you went through turned into something that wasn't meant to hurt you, but to find what I placed deep inside you. And what's coming next will no longer be fought, due to the fact that what became difficult, as soon as it happened, felt like ignored prayers, unexplained delays, and broken moments. The whole lot is starting to take shape in a way your spirit will recognize before your thoughts can give an explanation for. I'm dispelling the mist that has hovered over your perspective for an extended period. You've fought with questions in the dark, asking me to reveal to you what clearly changed and is going on. You asked why certain doors closed. You questioned why certain individuals departed carelessly and why your efforts failed to yield the desired outcomes. You stood inside the middle of doubt with faith that swayed between hope and despair. I continue to be close to you even in that battle. But now the surroundings round you are changing. You're coming into a divine revealing and opening, not of your eyes, however, but of your soul. I am now not just revealing events. I'm showing my hand in them. I'm starting levels of knowledge you were not set up to carry before. You will begin to see what is hidden, and it's not going to convey ache. It'll carry peace. You will understand why I allowed certain ties to fade. Why I pulled you back while you had been set up to release. Why I was not on time with answers when your desperation was growing. It wasn't neglect. It was my plan for protecting your fate. I'm providing you with holy clarity. A land that sees beyond the surface. Things that have tortured your mind will now line up like pieces falling into place. What was once overwhelming will soon transform into order. Where there was noise, I am establishing silence. Wherein there has been chaos, I'm now pouring know-how. I'm now not most effective at explaining your beyond. I'm lighting your path forward. Decisions that once left you frozen will now come with understanding and reinforcement. The fuzz is now gone, not just from your mind but from your whole environment as well. Talks become more clear. Chances can now be sorted through wisdom instead of panic. You'll no longer want to guess. You shouldn't beg for help. They are already being let go. Let me show you the map you didn't know you were following. And this showing will give you comfort, not only because you know, but also because you trust. I'm going to show you what your pain, your quiet, and your compliance made possible. You'll look at seasons that are past and then discover meaning in them. Things that used to feel like debt will turn out to be divine connections. I never wanted you to see everything as a way to move forward. I just wanted you to live close to me. And because you stuck with me, even when it didn't make sense, I'm now able to use your faith to bring you peace again. I'm about to show you that what you thought was the failure of your idea was actually God's plan coming together. Now I'm going to explain why I said no when all you wanted was a yes. I'm almost ready to take you into the rooms you just cried outside of. As you walk in, you may understand that I was getting ready in those doors to welcome you, not turn you away. This isn't always pretty much inside. Sometimes it's above the line. As the veil lifts, you won't have to guess if you're in the right place. You might already know about it. You will feel the support going deep into your soul, like a weight being lifted. I'm no longer adding more stress. I'm getting rid of the mess. You've had too many questions for too long without getting solutions. You've had to carry weights that were never yours. This moment, though, marks a change. You are about to enter a room where my voice might be easy to hear. You can move with confidence, not doubt. You'll speak with confidence instead of fear. Are you now going to give yourself power whenever you can't think of anything to say? You will learn things from the lessons you didn't know you had learned while you were waiting. The storm that made it difficult for you to imagine and see the future is now passing. There are no more clowns left. For what I'm about to show you next, you won't have to work hard. It should be easy. You might feel it deeply within you. It may make sense to you in your spirit, even if others won't admit it. I'm the only one clarifying everything. What you see next might be the proof you've been looking for your whole life. Because what's about to happen in your lives won't follow known steps or patterns. My freedom is no longer limited by superior judgment or by deadlines set by a man. However, I don't need approval from processes or frameworks to make things happen. While other people are waiting for permissions, rules, or the right conditions, I'm writing a holy exception into your life that goes beyond what is normal. Don't limit your goals based only on what other people have gone through. Now, don't compare your path to new facts or events. I'm not taking the same old paths to obtain what I want to send to you. The unusual tactics I choose are there for a reason, to show you that nothing can stop what I have planned, and that no obstacle can stand in my way. You're not going to climb ladders that men built. I'm making a course that goes up faster than any of us thought was possible. You've been trained to look for progress in small steps, but I'm bringing about big changes. I'm starting to get into places where rules say they are closed. What comes next might not make sense in everyday language. You might not get the doors you want through papers, titles, or ties. Instead, they'll open when you say, yes. I'm circumventing the barriers erected to impede your progress. You believe that you required a voice to advocate for you, yet I am audible above all others present in the room. You thought that things might change over time, but I'm speeding up what would have taken years and days. Don't weaken your faith to fit what seems possible. I'm doing something that doesn't follow the rules. If I skip steps, it's not to hurry you, but to show that I am the one who made you take a step forward. People will look and wonder how this happened, and the easiest answer might be that God stepped in. You're about to walk into a world that doesn't make sense, gave will rhyme with work at the office. Without care, healing will happen on its own. Things will become better where there was a break for years. I can do anything now, not just what makes sense. My wonders are meant to be upsetting. They mess up patterns, break rules, and destroy expectations. A phrase might not tell you what's coming. I'm not following traits. I'm setting a holy example through the way you live. Be ready to discover sources in places you wouldn't expect. You should be ready to be called about opportunities you didn't advertise for. Putting a plan together for relationships that don't need networking but are perfectly set up by God. There may be no chance in what I'm starting. Under heaven's practice, everything has been lined up. While other people wait for the right second, I'm ordering a second to answer you. The response indicated, not yet, but I have already declared no. Heaven has already sent it out, so you don't need the area's approval. Don't close your heart. Stay vigilant. Pay close attention. You are about to see me work in ways you have never seen me do it before. For this new start, I'm not going to use old plans anymore. In the beginning, it will feel strange, but that's how you'll know it's me. I don't have to copy and paste wins. I'm doing something unique and different. And while other people try to look into it, you'll be walking in it. I'm cutting through red tape to get you where your name hasn't been spoken yet. You're not advancing in your career. I'm putting you where my strongest hand can reach. It's not about hard work, it's about heaven. I'm freeing it with my words, my way, and my speed. So don't worry if it doesn't follow the trend. Don't worry if your story doesn't look like anyone else's. And it really is proof that it's unique because it's divine. Keep your eyes open for divine surprises. Stay grounded and trust. Even if everything happens faster than you thought it would, you might feel calm even when things speed up. In the middle of rapid change, you'll feel calm. That's how you'll know I'm steering it. You don't need to figure it out. Just walk around in it. What happens next might not be due to hard work or making plans. There will be no doubt that it is my mark on your life. This new reality could be clear as we move past what is normal and into what is holy. Watch how things go. What initially felt like pain was actually evidence that I was positioning you perfectly for the future. You want to know why the stress kept getting worse, why some seasons seemed to never end, and why the path seemed steeper for you than for others. But what seemed like a battle turned out to be just shaping a vessel I might want to believe to be true. I let your resistance not hurt you but grow your roots deeper. I was sure of what I was making, and you couldn't get any easier. When I put you in the middle of a fight, I wanted your judgment to be sharp, your courage to be unwavering, and your bond with me to be strong. It did not clearly represent your role in the conflict. It learned about you. There was no way that the attack was a punishment. In secret places, you have been learning things. Every fiery test made you more focused. You learned to listen to my whisper every time a door shut. Each delay taught you to rely on when I say it will happen. You didn't only live to tell stories about difficult times. You were careful in it. I used the competition that tried to interrupt you to build on what I already wrote about you. Even though the training wasn't very high brow, I didn't explain everything to you while you were in it. It turned into a religion. It wasn't my goal to make it clean. I was making it strong. Today you are in a place that you could not arrive to by taking shortcuts. You have won something that can't be taken away. The hurricane was where authority was born. No one saw the long nights. No one heard the battle cries you didn't even say. I did, though. I used to be involved in every unseen conflict. Now your scars don't make you feel negative about yourself. They show how strong someone is. They indicate that you overcame challenges that others succumbed to. They discuss the level of passion that can't be matched. You are no longer emerging from the battle with equal strength. You are sticking out longer. Your stance has changed. You no longer want what used to keep you busy. Your spirit is no longer looking for steady signs. You now know how to feel my presence, even when I'm not talking. What used to make you wonder now makes your faith stronger. This is now marketing, not just advertising. There is something bigger than the effect that I have set you up for. I've set you up to make an effect. You're not going into exposure just to be seen. You're taking the next step to offer what was shaped in pain, strengthened in silence, and thought over by the fire. You didn't just do something. You'll owe someone. Someone who knows how to pray their way through battle. Someone who knows how to wait quietly. Someone who knows how to talk clearly. This job isn't always short-term. It's the start of a whole new set of duties. I'm sending you to a place where others may not comprehend your journey. Yet your presence will transform them. You didn't simply plan to weather the storm. You were meant to leave with insights that others wish they could share in their own stories. You offer answers, lead the way, and give hope to those who are worn out. All of that might only have been possible because of the war that tried to get you to give up. You can see every hit you took. There was a record of every tear you shed. Now, you won't waste a single second of your trip. It became an important part of the place. Others saw pain, but I saw coaching. Others saw loss, but I saw confirmation. Now that the training has paid off, I'm taking you to new places with new tasks and new positions. This time, I'm not a beginner. I've been through it before. You may not ask if I'm ready. You won't question your price. You were not hurt by the fire. Who marked you for something holy? The problem didn't hold you up. It held you down in places I certainly don't want to go into. Now I'm letting you in on what I kept hidden until later. Not to impress everyone, but to light a fire in you that I planted from the beginning. Take a walk through it by yourself. Do not worry. Just go through it like you know your steps are being directed. This is not a big step forward. It's what happens after being found. And the next place I take you will remind me of every war you won. For now, not every fight came from what you can see. Some of the pushback came from whispers, beliefs, and secret plans to stop you before your time comes. But I can't help but notice everything. Even the things people say about you behind your back. The plans are kept in secret places. Being nice hides what you really want to say. I've been stopping every job that was meant to slow your rise. You've gone into rooms that made you feel awful without knowing why. Even though everything on the floor looked fine, you could feel the weight of spiritual competition. That was not clever of you. It changed into careful thought. I let you go through something you couldn't name because I wanted to wake up your spirit to the unseen systems that were working against you. I always knew where it came from, but you didn't. Now I'm taking down every barrier that was built in the dark. The guns that were made were real, but they can't work anymore. The discussion should make your name stand out. Trickery conceals the real goals. The ties are strong enough to keep you out. They are being spread out. I don't understand the words of those who tried to push up against you. I'm breaking every deal that was made in secret to stop your growth. What they construct will fall apart under the weight of its own lies. This isn't getting even. It's holy safety. To defend you, I don't need to show them. I can raise you up in one of these ways that has an effect that doesn't matter anymore. Your call will be elevated without any compromise. Your task will be completed promptly. I'm protective of the fact that you know who I am without asking you to protect yourself. It was your goal to challenge them, explain things, and help them see the truth. But I told them, wait, because I was running underneath it all. I saw the jealousy in the back of their smiles and felt the resistance that clung to opportunities you were qualified for, but didn't take. I let the delay not hurt you, but reroute you away from the threat. And now I'm clearing the path in front of you, not just getting rid of the obvious obstacles, but also uprooting every hidden source of sabotage. I'm shutting down voices that didn't come from love. I'm blocking access from people who wanted to take advantage of your presence without respecting your reason. I'm releasing every soul tie, non-secular chain, an unseen leash that was meant to hold you down. This procedure is a holy severing, and it's happening quickly. You can see people walking away without being careful. You can feel changes in relationships you used to rely on. It's not lost now. While I engage in religious maintenance, I am identifying connections that will not carry over into your next season. You don't need to chase things. I'm filtering your environment, protecting the oil I found on you, and keeping the purity of your name. You don't even know how close some plans were to working, but I stopped them without you knowing. I sent chaos into enemy camps and turned their efforts into dust. I let them show themselves slowly so that you'd be able to read them when the shift came. Now, as the curtain lifts and reality intensifies, I will unlock the doors they attempted to close. What was built against you in silence is being torn down in front of me. You don't have to beg for what I have given you. The time spent hiding your worth is over. From now on, I'll make it clear who is for you and who is only nearby for comfort. No extra wandering loyalties. No greater second-guessing support. I am surrounding you with folks that carry discernment, honor, and purity. Folks that will construct with you, not compete in opposition to you. People who will have fun with your victories without shrinking from your mildness. The whole lot hidden is getting into the open, no longer to disgrace but to split. I am cutting the cords that related you to sabotage. I am freeing clarity so sharp that no manipulation can cloud your selections. And as I remove what was working for you, I'm simultaneously reinforcing what is supposed to flourish around you. They observed the outward version of you when you were most vulnerable and assumed that it represented your entire self. They misinterpreted your quietness as a vulnerability, your perseverance as uncertainty, and your modesty as insignificance. What they did not see was what I concealed intentionally: your intensity, your anointing, your method. While they were busy measuring you against shallow requirements, I was constructing a foundation inside you so unshakable that no human rejection may want to uproot it. I didn't want to hurt you. I just wanted to keep you away from people who couldn't handle your calling. They spoke too soon and made assumptions without ever asking me about the work in progress. You weren't meant to fit into their limited expectations. You were made for something that would take time, breaking, and layers of giving up that they couldn't understand. They didn't see you praying through the night. They didn't see you wrestling through obedience. They didn't see how you kept showing up with faith, even when all the signs told you to give up. And now it's time for me to show what I've been working on in the dark places. That's not always about proving them wrong. It's about proving myself faithful. I won't reveal them. I can raise you. And that makes the difference clear. I will heal you without anger or pride. Your recovery will be so full of grace that even people who didn't believe in you will be amazed and unable to deny that my hand is on your life. They said you weren't qualified, but I say you're chosen. What was brushed off as unimportant will now spark interest, not because it's intriguing, but because it has substance born through endurance. You will enter places that once rejected you and feel the atmosphere change, not due to ego, but due to your newfound authority. You'll speak, and hearts will focus, not because you ask for it, but because you carry revelation soaked in tears, fire, and obedience. People who didn't notice your cost will see the fruit of your unseen work. They will hear your name spoken with honor in places they never thought it could go. And when they see your influence rise, they won't be able to deny that it came from Herbs. They'll know it was me. I'm making you a living example of what can happen when someone stays true. Even if forgotten, when others fought for attention, you stayed still. When others fought for attention, you chose me. That posture was noticed. It led you to growth that no platform should allow. Human fingers cannot stop what's coming, nor can they trace it back to human favor. I am inspired by what you have built with quiet consistency, and the wind of my spirit will carry it farther than any connection could ever want to. Let your heart rest, knowing that justice will not require vengeance. I will let fruit speak louder than protection. You might not have to explain your journey or your silence. I can speak through your life louder than any accusation ever did. Your emergence will carry the scent of recovery, not bitterness. The people who said they'd never make it will be the ones who see your impact freeing others. They will see you thrive in peace, cause, and strength, and they will understand that it was never about being impressive. Obedience has led to a restoration that erases every false story told about you. I am restoring not only what was lost, but also what was never seen in you. Your true worth, your heavenly identity, and your divine mission. From this place of restoration and wholeness, you will now push upward. Not with vanity, but with understanding. Because whenever you thought you had fallen too far, neglected too much, or failed past restoration, you were mistaken. I was keeping your future in my hands with hands that never let go. The setbacks didn't cancel your calling, and the detours didn't erase your purpose. Even when you didn't believe you could get better, I wasn't rethinking my plan for you. I knew exactly what I saw inside you long before the world tried to judge you by your mistakes. I viewed each challenging moment not as a halt, but as the catalyst necessary to create something truly remarkable. What other people might have considered failure, I saw as a chance to grow. I didn't let the stress overwhelm you. Instead, I used it to bring to the surface what I had buried deep for your design. You are being purified, not punished. Through each challenge, I was getting rid of the weight of insecurity. Through each trial, I was dissolving the worry that sought to control you. Through every hurricane, I was becoming someone whom fame and praise cannot keep up with. This journey is not a story of disqualification, and it's one of improvement, of being shaped by the seasons that tried to tell you you weren't worthy. But you aren't because you're perfect. You are because you gave up. I selected you fully aware of your limitations, and I remain committed to utilizing you regardless. I saw it beyond the surface and focused on the surrender in you. You kept going when it didn't make sense to continue. You stayed open when your faith was broken. You stayed teachable when happiness tried to harden your heart. Now what was worked on in secret can be found in action. You don't have to say sorry for the time it took. Every second had a divine purpose. You learn the kind of awareness that books shouldn't teach. You develop compassion in a way that only the valley can. You give a softness that doesn't come from comfort, but from knowing what it's like to be hurt and still agree. That's what I was building. Someone who carries not only skills but also testimony. Not just vision but also virtue. You need to stand out with a stronger heart, a deeper fireplace, and a clearer voice. You are not second class, the leftover option, or late. You are on time for what I've set up. The reward will not go to the fastest, but to those who are trustworthy. You, my child, have persevered. Not perfectly, but consistently. That's what I honor and reward. I've seen you grow quietly, while others clearly advanced. I saw your personal sacrifices and quiet choices to stay in my will when compromise seemed easier. And while everyone else may have ignored your method, I've been writing every step of the story I'm about to tell through you. You weren't disqualified. You were just covered for starting too early and being multiplied before you were grounded. The model of you that comes out of this experiment will not be easily shaken. You will move with authority instead of pride. You will speak clearly instead of confusingly. You will stand not for approval but for risk. The next step isn't a reset, it's an upward thrust. I'm putting you in roles of purpose that fit the boom you've accepted. Doors will open not just because it's been a while, but also because you are eventually ready to walk through them with self-confidence and a partner. Let the shame go. Let the guilt go. There's nothing wrong with you that I haven't already started fixing. And fixing means making room for desire, growth, and divine partnerships. It wasn't punishment that made you stronger. It was training for leadership that doesn't waver in storms. You will lead others not from principle, but from lived experience, and you will walk into rooms with the quiet confidence of someone who knows what it takes to face it again. Throughout this journey, I will be with you, sharing what I have kept hidden for a long time in preparation for this very moment. Today, you are entering a state of completeness, not due to a fortuitous event, but because you persevered through the challenges. And what I'm about to do next, through you, is that you'll see the clear mark of patience turned into proof. Because without your knowledge, words were spoken into the air to limit, distort, and confine you. Judgments were whispered behind your back. Labels were put on you that didn't reflect who you are in me. Agreements were made in religious nation, states to try to stop your progress, delay your upward thrust, and obscure your identity. But I heard every word. I felt every arrow that was aimed at you, even the ones that were disguised as help or trouble. I have now drawn a line around your life, blocking any other avenues that aren't supposed to be there. Every deal that was made against you, because of a lack of knowledge or evil, is now being nullified. You don't have to fight with your words. I am speaking louder. The curses that were meant to follow your family tree are breaking with you. Cycles that tried to last for generations will have no place here. I'm embracing every enigmatic term associated with your identity and robbing it of its power. There are lies in your spirit, like when you said things like, maybe I'm not enough, or maybe I'll never get it right. I'm untangling every knot of misunderstanding that tried to take root through language that wasn't in line with my reality. What was said about you doesn't define you, and what was thought about you doesn't limit you. Only my voice holds the ultimate authority. I've renamed you in heaven, and now I'm aligning that heavenly name with everything around you on earth. You are not stuck under the weight of other people's projections, or a prisoner of spoken curses. I'm rewriting the story. Every time you were called too much or not enough, every word was meant to dim your fire. I am erasing every word that tried to make you doubt your abilities. They have no place in my courtroom. I am muting the effect of every word that tried to delay your confidence. When you were too young to defend yourself, some words struck you, causing you to carry them as if they were true. When you were weak, others attacked you, aided by your trusted friends. But I am cleaning up the sting now. I am cutting off the weight of those sentences. I no longer want to carry the weight of misnaming yourself. You will no longer respond to the identity that I mistakenly attributed to you. You will no longer walk around in the shadow of what other people put on you. My reality is becoming something louder than every lie. You will feel the shift. Your inner language is changing. You will start to talk over yourself with new authority, not repeating their doubts, but making my promises. The atmosphere around your call is being cleared. Where there was confusion, there is now clarity. I'm not just breaking curses. I'm replacing them with prophetic decrees. I'm releasing words over you that build, not destroy, phrases that align with destiny, not destruction, phrases that release, not restrict. And you'll start to see the effects ripple through every part of your life. Those who once judged you may be surprised by the calm you now bring to places where, even if rejected, you can't deny the desire that follows you. This change isn't always for praise, it's for a purpose. I'm fiercely protecting the identity I breathed into you before the rules of the arena. You aren't cursed. You are not infected. You are not forgotten. You're walking under a new statement that can't be taken back, changed, or rewritten by humans. Stand tall to be brave. Move forward as a person whose spirit is free from words that were never meant to be yours. What I've said about your life will always have weight, and nothing said against you will ever overpower what I've already said, because there were places in your heart, mind, and body where exhaustion settled so deeply that it started to feel like a part of who you were. You adapted to your vulnerabilities because you didn't realize that energy could still flow in those areas. But I've been watching, not just as an observer, but as the only person who truly understands the weight of what you've carried. I've seen how you tried to move forward, even though you were quietly worn out. I saw how you smiled even though you were feeling empty inside. I saw how you tried to stay trustworthy, even as your strength, motivation, and wish all dropped. Since you lacked the strength to express your feelings verbally, you whispered prayers instead. That connection, even though it was weak, became the opening through which I am now pouring supernatural renewal. Such power isn't always strength of will. Such power isn't adrenaline. This is strength that comes from heaven, sent directly into the dry, worn-out parts of your soul. I'm freeing strength that doesn't come from striving but from giving up. You're about to feel a surge within you. This will not be a fleeting boost, but an enduring fortification. I'm targeting the areas where you've felt the most fatigued. You've been struggling with an internal conflict that no one has been able to see. I'm fortifying you right there. That place where your confidence kept slipping, I'm rebuilding it from the inside out. I'm not just encouraging you, I'm giving you boldness. I'm breathing new life into places where doubt and confusion used to be, and where weariness tried to settle. I am breathing new life into places where fatigue used to be. This isn't a temporary touch, it's a divine infilling. You'll know when your words start to carry power again. Your choices will come from clarity instead of fatigue, and things that used to overwhelm you may start to feel small. I'm renewing not only your spirit, but also your body. Fatigue that felt like a heavy cloud is lifting. Insomnia is being replaced with deep relaxation. I'm not asking you to keep pushing. I'm calling you to a rise in power that doesn't come from working hard, but from being close to me. You did well to begin with, but now I'm moving you from survival to supernatural strength. You may start to walk easily in places that used to drain you of all your energy. I'm not just helping you get better, I'm giving you more than you had before. Of the vulnerable times, those were the ones I marked for renewal. I never wished for your perfection. I waited for your honesty. And now that you've reached that factor, my response is not disgrace, it's supply. I am sending electricity that flows via your thoughts, your feelings, your frame, and your mission. You'll wake up and realize that the heaviness you have carried for so long is truly gone. This change is not because the world altered it, but because I am changing the burden you carry. You will no longer be tired by way of the identical conditions. You may encounter familiar situations with newfound bravery. Your internal kindness is being replenished, not through effort, but rather through experience. Stay near me in this moment. Allow me do what best I will. You don't need to fake being sturdy. I'm your strength. You do not want to parent it all out. I have already gone ahead. What I'm giving you can't be earned. It has to be obtained, and as you grasp hold of it, you will notice that things begin to shift quickly. Procrastination will lose its grip. Readability will sharpen. Motivation will feel lighter. What once felt like mountaineering a mountain will now feel like taking walks in an organized direction. You can now bring others not out of a sense of depletion, but from a place of abundance. That is what it means to be empowered by using me. That is what it looks like while your weak point turns into the exact area of my divine energy. You might not burn out. You will burn bright. You won't wreck. You become unshakable. And from this new foundation, I can lead you into stuff that you thought was not possible as soon as the concept has been introduced. For all the nights when your heart whispered what your lips were too tired to express, those longings were never disregarded. I heard them the moment they rose within you, and I did not disregard a single one. Even the requests you had ideas for have been too ambitious, too precise, and too delayed. I stored them earlier than me. Now not one plea has fallen to the ground. I have been keeping them safe in the chambers of promise, waiting for the right moment to place the answer directly into your hands. It's finally here. You're on the edge of divine entry. What you thought was locked has been unlocked, not by striving or earning, but by closing. You kept looking for me even when answers seemed far away. You kept agreeing with my heart, even when my hand felt silent. I saw your faith stay strong through days of silence and nights of surrender. I watched as you changed your expectations not to settle, but to stay in line with my timing. I'm not giving you leftovers. I'm giving you what I specifically designed with you in mind. You thought I changed my mind. You were confused because it seemed like the door you prayed for was always closed. I didn't refuse your request. I just had to make the way to it. There were layers I had to toughen in you, so the solution wouldn't feel like a burden. You're no longer moving toward a wish. You're moving toward an accomplishment that fits you. What I'm starting now isn't random. It includes your name. Before you even knew how to ask, it became a sign of your future. You sometimes cried out of frustration, wondering why others weren't getting what you were waiting for. But I wasn't comparing stories. I was finishing yours. And now admission is being given. You will feel it in the way conversations change. See it in the way hearts open, and hear it in the way opportunities start to arise for you without you having to look for them. You've knocked long enough. Now the door is opening. This right of entry isn't limited or partial. I'm giving you the full amount of what I promised. You don't have to beg. You don't have to rule. You don't have to convince everyone of your worth. I've already spoken for you. I've already made a place for you. What you prayed for is about to satisfy you face to face. Getting admission will bring you peace, affirmation, and the knowledge that my presence is what your spirit has been waiting for. You may remember the times you almost left, but you will no longer cry tears of sadness. You will cry tears of the weight of my faithfulness. Getting admission is meant to heal you. The idea seemed impossible to reach. I am giving you access to spaces where your desires are fulfilled, to assignments tailored to meet your needs, and to resources that come without stress. I'm giving you the keys not only to answered prayers, but also to places of legacy. This is more than success. It's inheritance. You asked for relief, and I'm giving you lunch. You asked for open doors, and I'm giving you territory. Now is not the time to back away. It's the time to walk forward with quiet confidence, knowing you're walking into what I gave you. The very thing you whispered through tears. The very thing you journaled about in your personal reflections. The very dream you nearly buried. I'm resurrecting it and putting it in front of you, and you may understand it's me. There might be no confusion, no strings attached, no weight of overall performance, just peace, simply clarity. Just doors that swing open freely without conflict. This admission isn't just for you. It's for the generations with a view to follow. I'm giving it to you so that others will learn how to ask, wait, and agree. And as you step in, realize this: you had never been denied. You were being reserved. And what I have kept for you until now may be arriving just in time, because your existence was always included. There were only moments when I intentionally kept you hidden, while you watched others be celebrated, increased, and invited. You remained in the quiet spaces where it felt like no one noticed you. But I did. I wasn't withholding recognition to punish you. I was retaining something holy. What I placed in you required isolation, not publicity. You carried something unique, and unique things aren't shown off before they're covered. I safeguarded your development, not to shock you, but to nurture you in the security of silence. I let silence happen so that you could hear me clearly. I pulled you back because the spotlight was not good enough for you, not because you lacked worth. There were conversations you weren't invited into and systems you weren't put on. There are opportunities coming your way now, not by chance, but on purpose. I was watching over your path. I was growing something inside you that needed time, faith, and complete dependence on me. I was teaching you how to hear my voice over the noise of the crowd. You thought you were forgotten, but you were actually being cultivated. You thought you were invisible, but you were actually being refined. The desert didn't waste any time. It changed you and burned away your pride. It showed false motivations and woke up parts of your cause that couldn't live on in crowded places. While others rushed to gain attention, I was enhancing your capacity to hold the unseen. The foundation I laid for your hidden season will now support what I am about to reveal through you. You weren't being late, you were being delayed. I planted revelation in you so that you could now bloom in full maturity. I wrote understanding into your spirit that others will draw on in their time of need. You will start to see how your words carry more weight than ever. Your presence effortlessly soothes chaos. How your advice restores what others thought was lost. That is the fruit of your hidden years. What you thought was being ignored was actually being covered for maximum impact. I didn't help you bloom, but let your roots grow so deep that no hurricane can shake them. Now you feel the pain of not being seen, and that discomfort has turned into power. You'll be able to lean with humility, because you were never pushed by fame. You'll be able to serve with compassion, because you know what it's like to be invisible. You'll walk with authority, because you spent time with me in secret, and that experience has marked your soul. I'm bringing you out as the person I love, not as the person they remember. You are not the person you used to be. Now you are coming out with fully formed, holy thoughts, unaffected by what the arena thinks or says. You would rather not make a fuss. I can do that for you. I'm freeing divine appointments, sudden connections, and doorways that don't need any effort to open, just a willingness to walk through. What comes next won't be confusing. It will feel familiar, because I've been getting you ready for it every silent second. You'll move with ease now, not because it's easy, but because you are ready. Others will wonder where you came from, but I'll know you came from my hands. You were hidden in my presence. You were built in the quiet, and now it's time for what I shaped to be found out. You may not be found for interest, you will be found for purpose. You may not rise for applause, you may rise because I said it was time. As you advance, keep in mind that it was never about garnering widespread recognition. I was always the one shaping it. The veil is lifting, and what I will reveal will reflect the beauty of what was hidden. For your idea, there was still a long road ahead, full of slow progress and endless steps that would eventually lead to the result you've prayed for. But what you didn't know is that I'm no longer limited by the calendar you point to. I don't need time. I make the most of it. Now I'm breaking natural habits and speeding up plans that would have taken other people 10 years to finish. I don't think you lost the time you think you did. It's being made right. Delays are being merged, and your word is being pulled into the winning. You've been calmly waiting because you thought you were far behind schedule. However, you have been placed for a divine advance that is now happening. This is not a hurry. We're not missing steps here. There are hurdles that are only there to confuse and discourage people. This is me going in and taking them down. You're going from teaching to expression so quickly that you won't even be able to speak. Don't be shocked if people ask you to places you didn't plan to go. When doors open before you can knock, don't be afraid to walk through them. Even while you slept, the base was being built. The drawings of what goes on behind the scenes have already been made. My talks, choices, and people have all been in line with each other, setting things in motion that will now arrive quickly one after the other, but one that seemed far away will suddenly be at the door. Because I'm in charge of the harvest, I'm taking away what your idea needed to grow normally and bringing it back in full bloom. Even though the time isn't right, there are advantages planned for you that have been saved up and are now ready to be released. They haven't been turned down. They have been stored until you can bring them without pulling yourself down with their weight. And now that I see the mature, stable, and humble adult in you, I'm keeping a close eye on things that were not on time before. You might start to notice that things that used to be hard to do now just fit together. You'll move on to relationships that are immediately in sync with each other, without the usual conflict or confusion. You will no longer feel heavy at the start of each new day. Instead, you will feel flow and clarity. I'm getting rid of steps that aren't needed and achieving results that no one else can claim. His speed doesn't always come from trying hard. There is proof of divine action. People will ask, how did this appear so quickly? And you might know the best answer. God bless. I'm making up for the time you spent in the valley. During the years you were reliable with little, and during the times it seemed like nothing was working. I'll never forget how consistent you were. I did not forget about your loyalty at all. Now I'm respecting it with results that are better than expected. What took others a long time to build, I give you in a flash, not as a quick fix but as a divine honor. I'm going to skip over the buildings that men built and go straight to the alchemist I always had in mind. You should be ready though. Be careful because acceleration needs your full attention. But Joe next won't come with long-term reasons. It will only need short attention. When the call comes, go with it. Even though the chance seems, say, likely, step in while the shift is going on. You won't have time to bet again right now. You'll feel the time pressure, ease of reading, and peace that make you sure that's me. Don't wait any longer for everyone to agree. Don't look for agreement any longer. I am moving you forward, and the slow demands of others will not help you keep up with my pace. You're not moving too quickly. You are moving in time with the beat of heaven. It's taking me days to do things that used to take months. I'm making the results of your compliance even worse. You thought it might take a long time to get to, but now it feels like an unexpected height. Do live rooted though. Hold your heart firmly in my grasp. That's because this speed isn't about being famous. It's pretty much affected. I'm quickly lifting you up so you can launch what I put into you. It's not about getting there. It feels kind of freeing. As you enter the rushed moment, time speeds up. What just growled will start to run from now on, because there may be a change that happens so quickly and easily that not even the people closest to you will remember how everything started to change right away. It will start to feel like something in the air around you. What used to fight back now gives way. What felt stopped starts to break through and open up. People will look at the change and be amazed at how you went from being hidden to being full, from being ready to walking around full. They will use their common sense to try to connect the dots, but it might not match up with something they have seen before. The reason for this is that what is happening is magical and doesn't follow plans or timelines, qualifications, or networks. This change is coming from me, and there is no proof for it. There is proof of it. You don't want to say anything. You don't have to explain why you want to move up. You don't have to tell everyone how you got where you're going. I did ask them for approval, but I don't need to know what they said to move you along. I'm not going to do this anymore in secret, so that my hand, not yours, can be seen. I'm doing it this way. And they can whisper, be amazed, or even question your sudden rise, but they won't be able to change my mind. This change can't be attributed to hard work, luck, or the actions of people. It's more likely to be due to respect. Even though they were looking at outward signs, I was watching your heart, thinking about your reasons, and seeing how you held on to me when no one else was around. I'm breathing your life into you now in a way that will change even your stance. You will walk with confidence and no longer be cocky. You can now talk without being proud. I'm no longer giving you more so that you can brag. I'm giving you more so that you can give other people what they want. And yes, some people will get your growth wrong. Some people will think you've changed. You have, but not in the way they think. What used to hold you back no longer does. There is no longer a part of you that wants to be validated. Now that the season has changed, you're not looking for acceptance from sounds I never sent away. They won't understand how quickly your season went by, because they weren't there when the branches were stretched, broken, and pruned. They didn't feel the nights when you begged me, of course. They didn't see the silent tears you shed. They weren't there when you chose me over comfort, when you set out your plans for my will. This change is what you got for giving up. Some people find it hard to understand, but I do. Allow them to see. Let them be shocked. Let them ask. I am going to use your story to wake them up, not by explaining things, but by showing them. They are going to see what happens while a life is being set up. When my heart tells me, sure, over and over, I can't just raise you, even if the price goes up. I'll hold you steady at this new height. Even though things are changing quickly around you, you will stay strong. What you get away with might not make you who you are. You can stay normal, kind, giving, and aware of the job you're discussing right now. While I raise you up, I can keep you stable, and you'll know it's me because you won't feel any stress. You might feel aligned. You might not need to push on doors. They'll be ready to open. There may not be a rush for you. Your mind will feel free. You won't be shocked by how quickly things are changing, because I've already prepared you on the inside. Now, what I've done inside will start to change, because of what's outside. People who weren't able to see it before will start to understand how heavy your load is. Not everyone will understand, but the right people will respect it. You can also learn how to walk calmly around people who ask questions without being defensive or small. Let me defend you by changing things. Let me confirm your sure results that no one saw coming. When they ask you how it all happened, you'll just say, I waited on God. This sudden change can be easy, and it will have all of my marks on it. During times when you felt like your voice was still, when your words couldn't get past the roof, when you were surrounded by noise but couldn't be heard, those times were not lost. The silence spoke a language that only I should understand. Every tear, sigh, and inside groan that wasn't said out loud was recorded in front of me. You may have felt ignored, quiet, or emotionally numb at times, like your prayers didn't matter. But I was getting closer, when other people just responded to your energy. I was sitting next to your quiet, weak spot. The space of quiet you held became a holy place, where I changed your identity, so that it wasn't what the audience called you, but what I made you. I'm now adding music to the places where your voice used to shake. You're getting better. Your scars are getting better, and your freedom is getting better. I'm bringing your voice back to life with purpose, where it used to feel buried under the weight of pain. You don't lack a voice. You were planned to hold a sound that is strong, a true sound that doesn't echo sadness, but instead shouts launch. You can't whisper from places where you're scared. You can make claims from places of freedom, and the next thing that comes out of you won't be practiced. It will be new. You'll talk from overflow instead of trying. I'm letting go of the shame that was holding your tongue. Worry tried to tie up your calling, but I'm letting go of the cords. What used to shut you up will now be the place where freedom runs, not just for you, but also for those who are still stuck in what you used to be. I give your words the power that comes from being real. You won't need to raise it to be heard. What comes from you will carry the weight of heaven's approval. I'll use your story, your song, and your sound to break chains that other people didn't even know they were wearing. You might start to talk and hear walls fall. As you start to pray, you'll feel something change. What was quickly stopped is now being stirred up. This is what is now waking up after being asleep. You are not being able to speak up and get people's attention. People are giving you a voice to help them come out of hiding. Every season that was quiet has been turned into a power source. The time you spent trying to figure out why no one got it is now becoming experience that you can share with others. It's not always a string of sad memories that you tell in your story. There is a real mile of success ready to be fired. You give out songs that don't come from the level, but from the secret area. There are psalms that heal, words that break open hearts, and statements that make people brave. When you talk to the sad people, the light will come back on in their eyes. You can talk into confusion and bring readability, but not from what you know in your head, but from real-life encounters with me in the quiet. And I can answer your voice with signs. What you say could be met with my movement. The sound of your faithfulness will be heard in heaven. Being heard has been on your wish list for a long time. Now I'm making you a voice that people will wait to hear. You're not old past. You have been chosen. We haven't forgotten about you. You have been ordered. This hiring isn't based on how loud you are, but on how willing you are to be quiet. Let me have you say something during your breaks. I'm going to use what broke you to break chains now. The blessing I'm pouring over your words will be different from what you've had before. Not all the time is this show. It makes sense. Just go with the flow. The things you say will be soaked in the oil of every secret fight you've been through. You might not talk to people to get approval. You will talk from change. Also, don't hold your words back once it gets louder. Let the sound spread out. Let the tune go up. Because I'm making a song of freedom out of the quiet that tried to choke you. What sounds like the next thing will be heard a long way away, because the questions you have are too heavy to speak out loud. In the dark, you stared at the ceiling, trying to put together broken timelines. In your heart, you asked me, why did that happen? Why didn't it work out? Why did it have to hurt like that? You never got answers right then. But you never stopped trying to figure them out. You thought you were by yourself when you were wrestling. While you were talking, I was sitting next to you and keeping quiet. This is because I was forming your information for when it finally came. What seemed like a mess is about to become clear. What people thought was chaos is now being seen as divine shape. I never forgot to answer your questions. I saved you the answers so that your heart could carry them with the weight of kindness, not sadness. The dots that weren't linked at all will start to line up like stars in a sky. And when the picture opens up, you'll see that I wasn't hiding anything. I was ready to see what I already knew. You weren't left behind. You have been stuck in place. You didn't get lost. You were being led. The parts that were closed were not empty. They had been harsh. Now I'm letting you look through a lens that isn't clouded by fear or sadness. The pain that used to be louder than my promises is now slowly going away. Without a doubt, the facts are beginning to speak. You may realize that what you used to think of as punishment is now just exploitation. I stopped ways that could have hurt you. Some dreams died when I realized I had something much more important to say. I used the times you were betrayed, that kept you up at night and made you question your worth, to change the course of your life around risk. I didn't enjoy seeing you cry, but I did hold on to each one. They are holy to me, and now they might be coming as a surprise. I'm going to start with your knowledge, so that the weight of your confusion can lift. I'm going to show you that none of it was random. The failures, the stops, and the things you cried about alone were all parts of a bigger picture I've been painting slowly. Even though you'll remember those long nights, the pain inside you won't be the same. You'll see now why where they may be was once the best place to hurt. You might not forget the questions, but this time they will come with answers that heal instead of scare. I can start to light up the places in your memory that have been dark for a while and bring you peace that goes beyond your need to remember everything. Now, some answers will come to you, not in words, but in the way your next season plays out. You can walk into places you weren't allowed to before and understand why I kept you hidden. You'll play parts that, at first, seem impossible, but then you'll realize the long wait was worth it. You will enter into relationships that make you feel safe and in sync. And at some point, you'll understand why other people had to leave. Things that you prayed about all night will now begin to happen before your eyes. And once they do, there can be no more misunderstanding, just a simple promise. I'm making up for every night I can't sleep. I'm making your quiet tears into songs of understanding. I'm changing the thoughts that are making you stressed into prayers for peace. It's possible that this coming out could be a rush of facts. It will come to you as a flow of knowing. You'll start to understand the why behind every what. The gold that came out of the fire will make more sense to you. In the story you just stopped telling, you will find life. You are now slowly, but surely getting the clarity you've been longing for. It will also heal you in ways you didn't even know needed to be touched. It wasn't wrong for you to hold on to hope. It wasn't foolish of you to keep trusting. You didn't lose your hope. It changed into getting ready for the truth that is now coming out. As things start to happen around you, notice how they relate right away to the things that used to keep you up at night. No longer am I the one answering. You are now the one answering. And as this news slowly seeps into your heart, it won't be a cliffhanger. It's likely to be nostalgia saved. Because of every complicated moment, every mistake you saw ruining everything, and every sudden turn that made you feel like your life had gone too far to fix. I used to be there for all of it. I was running through the gaps, even when it was easy to see pieces. You tried to force knowledge while you were in the middle of chaos, but you had no idea that I was carefully forming what looked like illness into something incredibly unique. You saw a mess. There was a map there. You saw things fall. I saw a clear area. Because I no longer build with what makes sense to people in mind. My position has always moved in ways that don't make sense. I build with things that are in line with heaven, but don't seem very interesting: education, purpose, and practice that are spiritually rich. It's funny because the times you cried were actually turning points, Not breaks, but breakthroughs in hiding. I never turned away from you when things went wrong. I moved closer and helped you avoid what would have hit you and hurt you if I hadn't been there. You thought I wasn't moving because you didn't see any changes in the outside world. But I used to be reorganizing everything from the ground up. Now I'm going to turn the page. You will begin to see how my fingerprints were on even the smallest events. That missed trip, that canceled meeting, and that message that was delivered late. All of them led you closer to a better result that you never should have thought possible. You'll be able to look again with clean eyes. And the thing that made you question me before will now make you reward me. I'm not best at getting back what you lost. I'm best at showing you why you couldn't keep it. And I'm going to show you how I used something the enemy meant to be a distraction to become closer to me. The parts of your life that were previously confusing will now be very clear. I'm untangling the memories that you hid because they were too heavy for you to handle. I'm making the thoughts that used to make your chest tighten feel calm. It's not always careful repair like this. There is a complete change. When you walk into a room, you'll feel grounded instead of guarded. You'll wake up feeling excited instead of anxious. Your soul is starting to line up with what I've said about your lives. And the confusion is getting weaker. Without being in charge, it became. It turned loud, but not Sivern. That power can only come from me. And now I'm going to show it in a whole new way. How did you stay so calm through all of that? Someone will ask you at some point, and you'll say, I didn't. He carried me. You'll start to laugh where you used to shake. You will take deep breaths, like you did when you were scared, and held your breath. In every storm you stayed in, I'm undoing the dust. Your body will even be able to tell the difference. You'll notice that the stress you've been feeling for years is going away. How your responses now aren't based on a need to survive, but on something you want to think about. I've always been teaching your soul to think about things your eyes couldn't see yet. Now that my spirit is catching up with yours, the winds that used to shake you won't be able to separate you. I am changing disorder into witness, that mess into insight, and that pain into victory. People will connect with your story because it's becoming a message. You didn't keep going even though it was dangerous. You made it through layout. Even though you didn't know where your steps were going, I planned them. There was no way you were lost. You were being put together. The dirt is lying down. As it gets clearer, you can see the whole picture. You'll understand that the deer were divine, the ends were entries, and the pauses were deliverances. Everything will work out as you start to live with this new purpose. No more tears, no more getting ready, no more questions. It will all be paid for. The puzzle is coming together, and it will be clear that I was in the middle of every time your idea worked against you. For you carried the weight of wounds that no one could see. There were places deep that didn't bleed in public, but hurt you below the surface. That's how you learned to work even though you were broken, to smile even though you were quietly broken, and to steer even though you were limping. Still, no one saw the cracks on the inside. No one asked about the quiet fights. They praised your strength, but had no idea what kind of war you were fighting. But I did. I used to be in the depths of things that no one should see. I was there when the pain started to grow in the times that other people didn't think were important, but that tore something holy from deep inside you. I heard the thoughts and questions that you were too ashamed to say out loud, and the ones that were buried so deep that not even you could. You stopped making things up. You had been badly hurt, and while other people moved on, I stayed with you. You never had to hurry to get better. I didn't ask you to lie. Before you let me touch it, I actually waited until you stopped guarding it. And now that time has come. I'm getting to places you thought were too damaged to feel anything again for a long time. Now, though, not to tear them open, but to put them back together fully. My repair wouldn't just make the floor feel better. It goes back to the start of the pain and writes down what will happen. The events that made you silent inside are now being rewritten with peace. The memories that used to make me feel bad are now filled with light. What used to make your chest tighten won't make you feel anything at all soon. I'm not going to erase your story now. The way it lives inside of you is changing because of me. The pain that kept coming back during your time alone is being quieted by my presence, and I'm doing it in a way that no person could reach. Step by step, breath by breath. This is healing from the inside out, until what was broken doesn't affect how you see yourself anymore. You have been gone for a long time and are not too far away. You're not too broken now. What has been broken is being put back together by divine hands. It might not happen all of a sudden, but you might start to notice a change. A new calmness when you think about the things that used to make your heart race. A new ability to read where there was confusion, and a new kindness for yourself where you used to punish yourself. This is not how you cope. It heals the whole body. It's not coming from other people either. It's coming out of me right now. You were never hidden from me. In the dark, your tears didn't go away. They came down on holy ground. And that I saved them all not out of sympathy but as seeds. Now I'm going to turn them into fruit power that you didn't know you had. You couldn't fake being gentle. Being resilient doesn't come from surviving. It comes from being whole. You're going to stand in front of people who hurt you. You also can't argue. It's not because you forgot, but because you are free. You will hear the same words that made people worry and feel calm instead. This is the energy of the person I meet. It brings back what life is trying to write. For me to heal your pain, you don't need everyone else to agree with you. There's no need for them to say sorry. Right now I'm doing it alone, quietly, and supernaturally. Going through the rooms of your mind and putting lights on places where darkness used to be. You used to feel a hole, but now I'm filling it up. There won't be any bad dreams for you. You can speak without any fear of being turned down. You don't have to get ready for another hit to breathe. The part of you that was always on guard is taking a break. The real you, the only one I created before pain changed the plot, is coming back. No longer shy or sore. You won't want to talk about what happened. People will see you. Your presence will bring healing as it changes into something new that comes from recovery. Some people will find your peace and not understand why it makes them feel calm. But you'll understand. You'll know how it feels. You'll figure out where it came from. And you'll give them to the person who reached in, but no one else should. His comeback might not be very loud. He will be whole. I will start to let go of what might want to only float from someone who knows what it's like to be hurt, and then made new from this healed area. Because I've been quietly getting ready for someone in the bloodline. There is someone whose life, purpose, and experience have been shaped to fit the need you have been praying over. You still don't know what their name is. Even though you haven't seen their face yet, their path has already begun to move toward yours. I'm the only one who orders links, and this next link will happen by chance or through comfort. The Holy will make it happen. You've met a lot of people who have been classified. There were some people who were annoying, and some who were not ready to walk with you to where I'm taking you. But this one, the one I'm sending, is different. They might not take from you. These people are being sent to walk with you. They won't carry confusion anymore. They will make things clear. They won't be able to hide their plans anymore. They will come up with answers. What they say will stick with people. It's good timing, not because it's smart, Their presence will no longer make you feel insecure. It's going to talk about who you are. Someone who is right for the job I found over your life is being sent to you. Now, don't tell me anything new. Just confirm what I already said. They will understand your words, even if you don't want to explain it. They will catch your spirit even though they don't have proof. They will also give you something you didn't even know you were waiting for. This is more than just a friendship, a relationship, or a guidance. This is about how the future will line up. I'm bringing someone with you who has what opens your next season. Like you, they've been through their own personal fire. They were delicate through hard times, just like you. Now I'm lining up your paths to cross, not by chance, but because of a heavenly plan sealed in heaven. You don't have to look hard to find them. You don't have to worry about not having enough, though. I'm setting things up. All I need from you is to be ready. Keep your door open. Be present. Don't change the flow of loyalty. You will be right where you need to be. There shouldn't be any trying in this case. Not any weird pushing. It's going to send peace. It will feel like the present is coming up with the future. When you meet them, your spirit will know what's going on before your thoughts do. Getting rid of those who couldn't go with you wasn't meant to leave you empty, but to make way for what had been planned. You had to go through times when you were by yourself, but it wasn't because I was punishing you. It was because I was getting you ready to accept without holding, celebrate without idolizing, and figure out without questioning. No longer are you just ready to be poured into, you are also ready to walk in mutuality. This next date won't wear you out. It will give you gas. It won't require exceptional skills or looks. As you continue on this path, you will discover that previously locked doors are now opening. Not due to a lack of effort on your part, but because the timing or connection was not right before. There are doors hidden for a reason, and I'm waiting for the one person I chose to come with the key. Not everyone was supposed to open what needs to be opened in the next step. This one, however, involves decisions that promote movement rather than conflict. They won't be able to beat you. They will cover you with prayer. They might not get the wrong idea from your silence. They are going to find out your spirit. I will use this link to make what I've planted in each of you grow. You can build together. You all break down barriers together. It's now commonplace for people to work together in ways that seemed impossible at first. It won't be rushed anymore. Roots are likely to grow in it. As long as it's placed straight, it will bear fruit quickly. Your look may have come back right now, and you may know that I wasn't putting off connecting with you. I planned it out. Each one made this sure. Each ending covered this beginning. And when it gets there, you'll know that your plan did not work. It came together with my help. This person is not going to kill you. You're already whole. They are coming to walk with you, though, as you each walk along the edge of something today. For the spots where things fell apart, your arms were empty, and you stood and watched the remains of something you soon thought might be ending forever. Those are the exact places I'm going back to, with divine reward. What was taken caught my eye. I saw what you let slip through your hands. I saw something slowly fade away that you were hoping would stay. Yes, it looked like failure and felt like loss, but I have marked it as a place to go back to. I'm keeping what's left and giving back what is better. I'm making changes that include more things than you think are possible. It's not always a rebuild of the use of broken parts. That is a brand new system that is stronger, cleaner, and better suited to what comes next. You don't have to spend the rest of your life sad about what fell apart. Soon, you will be unable to distinguish between the ashes you stood on and the beauty I am creating from them. I am transforming every place you marked as a failure into fertile ground for new opportunities. You saw that something important was ending. I saw the planting of something that will last forever. There are places inside you that also still echo with what you lost. These sounds include goals, people, seasons, and years, but they are about to be drowned out by the sound of multiplying. Where you had been empty, I can fill up. I can better dress you now rather than stripping you of your clothes. I'm going to wrap you in cotton. What you lost was real, but what I'm bringing back might not be able to be denied. There will be no going back to the way things were. I'm going to show you something I've been planning since the beginning. You were sad about what was taken away, but soon you'll be happy about what was found. I know what the value is. I understand the pain. I remember the nights when you looked at what was left and wondered how you were going to rebuild. But I wasn't telling you to build it by yourself. I have been working beneath the surface, initiating new beginnings in areas that previously felt vacant. Your tears soaked the ground. The prayers you said made the floor softer. Your wish saved the seed, despite its weakness. The crop is now starting to rise. There is not just a small amount, but rather a large quantity. The crop has been pressed down, shaken together, and jogged over. You might not want to go after it. You'll get it. Doors will swing open out of the blue. Unexpected places will be where new materials appear. People who can help you will locate you, without you having to look for them. Relationships demonstrate the extent of your heart's healing. Opportunities that match your level of development. Resources that address your problems more quickly. All of these things are helping me get better faster. As a hobby, I'm fixing things up. Growth might bring back what I lost last year. With acceleration, something that was broken in a single second could be fixed. You can't see the spot where you fell, since I've turned it into the floor you're on. It's not possible to describe you with what's left. You will be seen through what came in its place. I'll use the loss to start something so powerful that even your enemies will feel uneasy about ever getting close to your lives. You'll talk from a place of truth instead of lies. Many people will be amazed at how you overcame so much and still brought peace. I still feel good, still believe, but you and I know the most about how deep the empty land was before the flood. There is no repair on the surface here. I'm delving into the core of your journey and transforming its dynamics. Gold is being used to fill in the cracks that being unhappy left behind. We now view the scars that sadness left as beautiful marks. You don't harbor any grievances. You are a way for me to be saved. People who saw you in the desert will now see you in the land of plenty. Please don't limit me to what got lost. Think about more than just what could be taken. Weeden your heart, because what I'm letting go of might not fit with the happiness you were feeling before. It will go beyond that. It will make it right. It will change what it is. This is the kind of healing help I can give. The kind that doesn't just make up for what you missed, but also makes you better than you were before. Because you were getting more stressed out about the due dates, bills, and responsibilities. It has been hard to breathe, because they have been so eager from all sides. Over the course of several days, you've pretended to be fine, while trying to keep your worry from rising. You did what you could, stretched what little money you had, and gave up things for other people without them even noticing. Still, it seemed like the rule was always just out of reach. While you were looking at the numbers, though, you didn't notice that I was giving the order to release. I had already planned for the answer long before the weight got heavy. You're not seeing the progress you've been hoping for. It was sent already. The things you've been asking for aren't always being thought about. It is moving. There is no such thing as empty space in my warehouses. I'm not pacing the ground of heaven, trying to figure out how to meet your need. I am the God who makes what you have more than enough and gets things that have been held up to arrive on time. I saw when you started to get tired. When you prayed in a tired whisper, I heard you, and I answered not with delay, but with divine speed. That you haven't seen it isn't because I didn't want you to. This is why I was setting it up to reach in that way. When it does, you'll know it was me almost certainly. Not any strings connected. An overview. Just want to be wrapped in peace. I'm about to send you unexpected help through people, resources, and channels you didn't even know existed. Not to make you angry, but to tell you that I've been your source for a long time. Your income doesn't always keep you safe. Your job isn't always what you start with. I am. And I stay the same even when the systems around you change. It seemed like you were waiting for money, but when you gave up, money showed up. As soon as your heart leans into me instead of panicking, the fountains will open. Because of who I am, I can make debt go away, dreams come true, and cash doors open. This isn't a prize for success, it's just how I am. I always take care of my own problems. The quote of the month will no longer scare you. You can't choose things because you're afraid of not having enough. I'm breaking the spirit of lack that tried to connect with your mind. I'm getting rid of the worry that grew with each unpaid warning. You will no longer be living in the shadow of financial stress. The wealth comes with the message of understanding. Plan with the answer, and be at peace when you succeed. You won't lose what I'm freeing, because I've made sure that your person will carry it. I'm no longer just sending enough to live on. I'm letting go of more than you asked for so you can build, bless, and breathe. The extra water won't hurt you. It will give you a commission. Now you'll be in charge instead of stressed. Your fear will turn into kindness. You buried your dreams because you didn't have enough money to go after them. I'm adding breathing lives to the projects you found on the preserve. The idea I gave you didn't cost a lot of money. It only had to guess when the right time was. That time is now. It's not just to fix your present that I'm sending provision. It's also to pay for your future. Don't expect it to come back through roots, you know. I'm no longer limited by what you think. I can suggest ways of doing things that go against common sense, but prove my word. You might get deposits that you forgot to chase. There will be chances that pay what other people said you wouldn't be worth. Things are already on their way. And when they get there, let your answer be worship instead of fear. Don't worry too much about religion. What I throw into your hands isn't always just to make you feel better. It's for my state. You'll be able to pay what you owe. Prepare for what's to come and bless the people around you. This isn't just that time. There is a shift. I'm putting your economy back on track. Less lack will happen again. No more stress in giving. There's no bigger worry than getting. This kind of big step forward changes the way you think about how you learned, stayed, and helped. Because while you've been consistently showing up in small spaces, drawing without being seen, and remaining steady, even when no one was looking, I've been talking about your name in places where decisions are made. Though I've been setting up the stage, you can feel like you've been in the shadows. You've sown in silence, served without praise, and carried heavy loads without complaining. Now I'm moving in a way that aligns your loyalty with chance. People have whispered your name in talks that you weren't aware were going on. People have noticed you in groups you haven't even been to. And it's not by chance. I planned it that way. You put honor seeds in the dark, and they are now bearing fruit in places you haven't even been to yet. You're not after platforms. You are being found by people who want you. I am increasing your impact, not to make you more famous, but to have an effect. People who have never seen you before will start to pay attention. Not because you're trying, but because my wind is behind your name. It's possible that the doors that are opening might not be because you worked harder or grew stronger. Because I spoke first, they will be. No one at the gate can shut the door after I speak up. While no one was looking, you were walking with honor. Additionally, I have been building your fame in heaven, not just on earth. Soon the spiritual and the natural will be taken in equal amounts. Your name will be called out. You will be found by invitations. Possibilities will get what you mean. You will no longer be stuck on defense when it does happen. You may feel the proof in your spirit because we've been getting ready together in secret. These doors will no longer need to work. You might not have to show up. You might not need to talk to everyone to prove that you fit. I already told you I believed in you. I've already given you the label, and no one will be able to question what I open. This isn't about being seen. It's almost ready to be sent out. That's not why I'm putting you above others. I'm setting you free for a task. In those places, you're not going to be moved. You're getting into it to persuade, to change the mood, and to give me back what I put into you during the beating. The people in the rooms are excited to see what you bring. And when you talk, you might not just be heard, you will get what you want. Not because I'm a great speaker, but because it could be soaking wet in my heart. In places that might be ready to be changed, the weight of what I put on you is ready to be lifted. When I send you to places where there isn't any method, you'll bring clarity to places that are noisy, peace to places that feel rigid, and the motivation to break through will come from your presence. They won't remember how you got there so quickly, but you'll know it turned into me. I saw you struggle in secret seasons, with whether or not your way of life was making a difference. But I want to tell you right now that you are not only making a difference, but what's next will make your impact much bigger than you thought possible. You might not only be asked, you'll also be made to feel welcome. Things that used to take years for other people to build will appear out of the blue for you. Not because you cut corners, but because you let me lead. I'm raising your voice so that you can speak in places that keep your impact. And I'm extending your reach to touch lives you never thought you could. But while I try this, keep your spirits down. Stay soft, be willing to learn. And don't forget the quiet years. They were the inspiration. Don't forget that your impact began with closeness. Listen to me as the rooms get bigger. Keep your eyes on mine as the stages get bigger. I am no longer giving you a target group. I want you to do something. You won't be scared when you walk in because you'll be ready. You can stand firm and not be moved. You will now give content instead of noise. I will check it every step of the way. Don't ask yourself why your name is getting better now. It's because the hour has come, and I've decided to set it myself, to be sure I'm